all-day cleaning session over with. It is 4:45 and I am headed to the gym, my first time leaving the house all day today. It's funny what becomes therapeutic the older you get. It's like, oh man, I spent my whole weekend cleaning my house. It was so good. So I feel like I owe you guys an apology. Actually, I don't feel like, I probably do owe you guys an apology because I have absolutely flaked out on the 35-35 challenge. Honestly, I blame Chad. I blame my cousin. Really, it's his fault. See, this is the reason why I should not do any challenges and put them on my vlogs, because I feel like I never follow through. Man, that's really sad. It's really sad when you start to realize that you're the kind of guy who doesn't have the follow through. Oh man, that sucks. I'm really sad about that. My intentions are really good. I have really good ideas. Follow through, not so much. I suck a lot at follow through. Well, if you were doing the 35-35 challenge with me, I'm sorry for flaking out. Hopefully you guys didn't flake out. Keep it going. I'm going to pick back up, start doing my cards, start going over my cards every day again. But don't lose hope. Just because I was a quitter doesn't mean you have to be a quitter. If it makes up for it, or if it makes you feel any better, I did read something really good this morning. So me and Shauna talked yesterday about being more intentional with our time in our marriage when me and her spend time together, because having kids tends to make you very distracted, but in a good way. You're constantly taking care of the kids, and then when the kids finally go to bed, it's like decompressed time together, so you're just kind of, off in la la land. But we were talking about being a lot more intentional with our time, both with each other and our relationship with God, and just everything that we do, just being more productive, being more intentional with how we're spending our time. So this morning, whenever we woke up, we both sat down and we read the Bible a little bit together. We were together when we did it. We didn't read the same thing, but we just sat down and read quietly together. I decided that I was just going to read in the Gospels, and I ended up in Matthew chapter 20, and there's a really interesting parable that Jesus is telling about the kingdom, and he says the kingdom of heaven is like this. And he talks about a man who's got a field that needs work done in it, and he talks to these guys and he says, hey, do you want to work in my field for a full day and I'll pay you X amount of money? I'll pay you this day's wage. And these guys say, absolutely. Well, the owner of the field ends up going to the marketplace halfway through the day, and he finds some guys who are just kind of standing around, and he says, do you want to work in my field for half a day? And they're like, yeah, we'll do it. So he sends them to the field to work. And then later on in the day, when the day is almost over, he goes back to the marketplace. He finds more people who are just standing around, and he says, do you guys want to work in my field? And they're like, yeah. So they work for a few hours. Well, the day's over, and the master of the field, he talks to one of his servants, and he says, bring everybody in from the field, and I want you to pay them all their day's wage. And he ends up paying each and every guy the same amount. From the guys who worked all day long in the field, to the guys who only worked half a day, to the guys who only worked a couple of hours, everybody made the same amount of money. And the guys who had worked all day, it says that they assumed that they were going to get paid more because they worked more. And they were upset, and they ended up telling the master, like, how this isn't fair, and like, we worked more, we should get more. And the verse at the very end is what stuck out to me. Jesus ends up saying, or the guy in the parable ends up saying, is your eye evil because I am good? And I just really... And it really made me think, it really got me to thinking, how many times in my life do I look around and I can't see the goodness of God for the fact that I'm being judgmental about something? Like, here's some guys who only worked a couple of hours in the field and they got paid a full day's wage. That's awesome. I should be happy for them. But yet, I feel like more often than not, I would be like the guys in the story who would be like critical and mad because I worked all day long. And these guys only worked 3 hours and they got paid the same thing. And it's like, that's the mercy and the goodness of the guy who owned the field. And instead of being happy that you worked a full day, you got paid, because they didn't get shorted. It's just that the other guys got blessed. And it's like, can you not see the good, or all you see is the negative or the bad because your eye is evil and you can't see the goodness of God? And that, I don't know, man, that hit me, because I look around, and I'll be honest with you, there are a lot of times where I can find myself being more judgmental when I look around, and instead of being glad at the mercy of God, all I can see is, hey, I'm doing better than that, or hey, I'm working harder than that, and hey, that's not fair, or whatever the case. Anyway, I don't know. Go read it, Matthew chapter 20. It's really interesting, but it's time to go work out. Let's go! the answer ever can be pizza, the answer is always pizza. Let's do it. Lose. I would lose. Pizzas? Check. Okay, normally I don't want to put anybody or anything, any establishment on blast, but that has got to be the grossest restaurant I've ever eaten at ever in my life. Maybe we just had a bad experience. However, it was so bad, there will not be a second experience. Ever. Never. Never in my life. Oh, tricked you. You thought I was turning. But that's just because I put my blinker on and got halfway in the other lane. Ha! Now I'm turning. BK, have it your way. Hey ma'am, do you want to be on my vlog? So my pizza is called the Shauna. You get it? What's my pizza really called? The Hot Chick. It is cheese, buffalo, chicken. Wait.
It's cheese.
Chicken, cheese.
Buffalo sauce.
Yeah, and ranch. Ain't it got? It's supposed to have a ranch drizzle.
Maybe.
I
It
don't
has
know.
onions, but he gets some more onions.
No onions, please. Please and thank you. BK, have it your